What do you do if you have local changes, but you need to switch branches to something else to maybe fix a bug or to test something else out, or maybe to get a snippet of code that changed in a different area of your Git repository? Hey, I'm Paul Solt from Super Easy Apps. Let's dive into the tutorial. In this video, we're going to learn about the Git Stash command. This is essential when you're working across multiple branches, if you're working on multiple bug fixes, to doing anything with ease. So the Git Stash command basically allows you to take what you're working on, put it aside, and then you can pull it back later after you're ready to resume that work again. So if you get interrupted, this is a great command. So if I do a git status, you're going to see that I have one file here modified, and that is this file. So let's pretend that it's got a lot of changes in it, but we're not ready to commit that yet, and we need to get back to our other branch. So we have other work that maybe we've stashed. And so the Git Stash is a great place to start. So let's look at some of the commands that we have for Git Stash. The first command that we're going to look at is this Git Stash, which just allows us to take whatever's in our working directory and stash it away. So I can just do Git Stash, press enter, and it's going to save that. And this is how it's going to save it. Now, how do we get back to that, or how can we give it maybe a more descriptive name? Let's say I add some new lines up here. So we have another file that has changed. If we do a git status, you're going to see that we have a file that has changed. And now let's say I want to do git stash, and this is something I want to come back to. We do a -m for a message, and then let's call this updated white space. So this is something that I will see, and then I will remember as long as it's not too far into the future. And I can do that, and it's going to show that we have done this. So on the main branch, we have updated white space. Now, how can we get access to those things? Well, there's a list command, and we can just type Git Stash List, and that will show us all of these different things. So what I really want to get to is this Swift Data MVP for in-app purchases. I need this chunk of code because it's actually not committed anywhere, and I'm a little afraid of losing some of those changes. If at any point you want to learn more about Git Stash, you can always just do git stash -- help, and this will give you all of the different commands that you can work with it. Just press Q to exit, and you're good to go. So if we look at and type git status, I have this shortcut that will do that for me. We see that there's no changes, which is important. You need to have a clean commit history because sometimes you have to do a merge, and you're going to have to fix problems if it has been a long time since you stashed these changes. Hopefully, none of the work that I did on main impacted the stuff that I did in this stash. So we're going to look for that ID, and we're going to use the apply keyword to apply one of these stashes. So the last one, so I don't want these two. These two are the last two. I want to apply this one. And so all we're going to do is we're going to copy this hash. We're going to rewrite that. And we're just going to say git stash apply. And I can write stash at, and this would be 2. So if we're just double checking, we are going to write that the same way. Press enter. And now we're going to see some changes. Hopefully we don't have any conflicts. If you do have conflicts, you will have to fix those. And you can search xcode or something for the less than or greater than symbols to see if you have those. So if I were searching, I would do a search like this, press enter, look for anything, and then fix those issues one by one. So that's Command-Shift-F to search in xcode. Okay, so now that we've applied those changes, let's go ahead and create a branch off of main since we recently merged another branch into main. So I'm going to do a git checkout -b to create a branch. And this one we're going to call in-app purchase, press enter. And now we're on the in-app purchase branch. And let's add all of the modified files. So git add -u. So if we type a git status, we're going to see that all of these files have been modified. And that's, I think, a good place to start. Let's test that this actually works. And then we're going to start to see the in-app purchase dialogues, depending on what screens or interactions I'm working with. If I already have it paid, then we're not going to see them. If I click up here, I think there's a click. I think I have to reinstall the app in order to see the updated state. So let's go in here. We'll have to delete the app. And then let's go ahead and run. If I hit start, what happens? Okay, so here we see a sample paywall. It's not fully customized yet, but I'm working on it. I've got a free trial option here. I've got a lifetime access. Hitting this free trial widget will select the free trial option, and then I can hit continue. If I do that, this is using the App Store. So under products, debug, StoreKit, manage transactions. I have demo transactions for the simulator. Currently, it looks like we do not have any transactions registered with this new simulator, since I think I updated xcode. So it's a new simulator. So I will have to hit subscribe. And we'll see that the environment's xcode. So this is a test purchase. We now have this little pop-up and the app starts working. So that's an example of a gated in-app purchase. That is using Superwall. It's a dependency that I've integrated. I'm on the fence if I'm going to ship with this. I'm close to, I think, just making it work. But I also want to reuse some of the purchase logic here from my store. I basically want to copy and paste a lot of this code that I wrote based on Apple's code that allows me to do those lifetime purchases. And I want to integrate that into my new presentation app, which is this Mac app here. So this is what I was using to run that presentation. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to work towards. All right. I hope that was helpful on learning how to work with Stash. I use this a lot, especially when your manager or someone else, or maybe even you, have an idea of something else you want to do. You need to take a break. You got to switch branches, and then you can come back to the code later on. So now that we've created that branch, we've got all the stuff here. Let's go ahead and commit this initial thing, because I feel bad not having this in version control. Brew coffee in-app purchase MVP with, and let's call it Superwall. Okay, so that's our commit message. We'll press enter. This is still local, so I feel a little weird not having it on the server. So I'm going to do a git push, and then I need to set the upstream. So to do that, we do a git push set upstream. Actually, we could use the GitHub protocol here. So let's say I wanted to create a PR. For this, we're going to push this. So if I press enter, it's going to push it to my repository. It's going to create a new pull request. And now we have all of the commits here. We can look at the code all on GitHub of what was changed in order to support in-app purchases. So let's go ahead and create that. Typically, I'll add a description here. MVP for in-app purchase for brew coffee subscriptions. I like screenshots, so typically I would have screenshots of whatever the feature is. This one's not done yet, so before I would actually merge this, we could rebase and merge. I would okay, so we have one commit. That's what we're seeing here. Okay. So that's a little bit about working with Git, doing a little bit with Stash, and then getting into pushing a PR using the GitHub GH installer Mac. So this is the command line tools from GitHub that you can use right here. You can install with brew install GH. if you want to go ahead and install that. So brew install GH, we'll go ahead and install this. I think it's super helpful. I use it a lot, especially at GoPro. It just simplifies things so that I can create PRs really quickly from the work that I'm working on. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in another video.